Hi guys, welcome back to Medical Coder Life. In my preparation of creating a video on CPT for my other channel, Codemaster Coach, I wanted to first introduce you to observation. What is observation status in a hospital? And the best way that I noticed to tell you what observation status is you're too sick to go home, but not sick enough to stay in the hospital. Too sick to go home, but not sick enough to be in the hospital. And there are situations where, based on your symptoms, it appears that you are suffering a stroke or a heart attack. But based on the lab work that was done, you're not. You haven't had the stroke. You haven't had the heart attack. But yet, to keep a close eye on you, a lot of times physicians will write an order to put you on observation status. Now, understand that observation status is not an emergency room visit. It usually starts in the emergency room. And then they have to decide, do we send you home or do we observe you? Now, observation status can be up to 24 hours. They'll put you in a room. If they don't have an observation floor or a group of rooms designated as outpatient rooms, they will actually move you from the emergency room to a hospital bed where you'll stay. But on observation status, you're still considered outpatient, not inpatient. And so there are the good in it is that you've got nurses and you've got doctors there to care for you should anything happen. Should you actually have a stroke or actually have the heart attack, you're right there with care, and you don't have to worry about calling the ambulance to pick you up from home and you're there. You're on the floor. So that's the advantage of being on observation status. But there are some downfalls. And I never really thought about until we started having all these issues with Medicare patients. If you're on Medicare, observation status, because it's outpatient, is Part B Medicare. Part A Medicare covers inpatient. It pays more. But if you're an outpatient status, it pays for your physician office visits. Well, because observation is considered outpatient, then even though you're in the hospital, the reimbursement for Part B Medicare is not what it is for Part A. And so your medications and your stay aren't going to be covered as they would for Part A. And in doing my research, I found an excellent video on the web. And I'll share with you a quick video and the website, the web link to go to view this. But I thought it was so good and it explained observation status so well. So again, I want to share that with you. Let me show it to you. All right, this is the video. Let me play it for you.
You're in a hospital room. You're sick. Nurses check on you regularly and give you medicine. Your doctor has ordered treatments, but you have Medicare, so you figure you won't face a hefty bill. Well, surprise, you learn you haven't been admitted to the hospital. Instead, you are receiving observation care. That means doctors have decided you won't be staying more than 2 midnights. Your doctors and nurses are monitoring your condition and watching to see if you need to be admitted. But often, patients can't see any difference in care. Medicare considers observation care an outpatient service, even if you stay overnight at the hospital. So you will likely have more hospital costs than if you had been admitted. Costs like the co-insurance Medicare charges for outpatient care, usually 20%, and the bill for the drugs you may need for your chronic conditions. So here's a comparison. That baby aspirin you take for your heart condition, it could cost $18 at the hospital, instead of the pennies you're used to paying when you buy it at the big box store. And because Medicare has no limit on out-of-pocket charges, it can all add up fast. the price tag could be even higher if you go to a nursing home after leaving the hospital. Medicare will help pay for that expensive care only if you spent at least 3 consecutive days in the hospital as an admitted patient. Observation care doesn't count on that clock. Nearly 1.9 million Medicare patients received observation care in 2014. That's a spike of 103% since 2006, while Medicare enrollment rose only 5% during the same time. Why? Because Medicare has been trying to make sure the federal government doesn't overpay for care. Complaints about observation care prompted Congress to pass the Notice Act. It does not change your financial responsibilities. It requires that hospitals tell you that you're in observation care after 24 hours, and what the costs might be. For more information about Medicare and observation care, check out the links on your screen.
Wow. Wasn't that interesting? Observation care. So again, guys, observation care is, and I've seen a circumstance where a physician puts an elderly patient on some medication, and due to the side effects, the possibility of side effects of that medication, rather than send the elderly patient home, the physician will put them under observation to monitor the patient. So there are circumstances when observation is good. It's just we've got to be careful with it when it comes to reimbursement rates. But as far as me coming in with chest pain and possibly suffering a heart attack, keep me on observation. Observe me. The way that I look at it from an HIM, Health Information Management perspective, is that I know on observation, a lot of times you're monitored from the nurse's station. Physician will write the order, admit you, and the nurses will observe you based on your monitors at the nursing station. When you're on inpatient status, within every hour, hour and a half, a nurse is coming in your room. Observation, they're not. You'll be staying in the hospital for up to 24 hours, but the nurse will be monitoring you from the nursing station. And she might walk in once or twice during that 24-hour stay to make sure you're okay. But again, they monitor you at a distance just to make sure you're okay. So again, I hope I've explained what observation status is, and I hope I've opened your mind to concerns or possibilities of concern when it comes to reimbursement for observation status. All right, I'm getting ready to upload a video on Codemaster Coach, my other channel, on how to appropriately code observation status. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one.